Every angel in Scripture opens with the same three words: do not be afraid. Nobody ever asks why something beautiful would need to say that. What Ezekiel saw by the river Chebar was not an angel as we imagine them. It was a war machine. 4 living creatures with 4 faces each: man, lion, ox, eagle. Their legs straight, their feet like polished bronze. And above them, wheels within wheels, their rims full of eyes all around. Eyes that never blinked. Eyes that saw everything. The prophet fell on his face, not in worship, in terror. Isaiah saw the seraphim in the temple, 6 wings each, 2 to cover their faces, 2 to cover their feet, and 2 to fly. But the text says they covered their bodies because what lies beneath is not meant for human sight. When Isaiah saw them, he cried out, "I am ruined. I am a man of unclean lips. The presence of these beings unmade him." John, on the island of Patmos, saw the throne room. He fell at the feet of the angel as though dead. Daniel fainted. Ezekiel collapsed. Every single prophet who encountered these entities lost consciousness or begged for death. This is not the reaction to beauty. This is the reaction to something the human nervous system cannot process. Ezekiel describes the Ophanim in excruciating detail. Wheels intersecting at right angles, their rims tall and awesome, full of eyes all around. When the living creatures moved, the wheels moved. When the creatures rose from the earth, the wheels rose. The spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. This is not poetic language. This is a technical schematic. A witness trying to describe something for which he has no frame of reference. The Hebrew word for wheel is ophan. But the structure he describes is not a cartwheel. It is a gyroscope, a 3-dimensional object rotating on multiple axes, and it is covered in eyes. Cherubim guard the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword that turned every direction. In the temple, they are carved with 4 faces and outstretched wings. Ezekiel sees them as living creatures. 4 faces, 4 wings, hands of a man under their wings. Their legs are straight. Their feet are like calves' feet, burnished like bronze. They move in any direction without turning. The sound of their wings is like the sound of many waters, like the voice of the Almighty, like the tumult of an army. This is not a chubby infant with a harp. This is a sentinel, a guardian intelligence designed to enforce the boundary between the sacred and the profane. The word seraph means burning one. They stand above the throne of God. Each has 6 wings. They call to one another, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." The sound of their voices shakes the foundations of the thresholds. The temple fills with smoke. Isaiah sees them and believes he will die, because no one can see God and live. But it is not God he fears in that moment. It is the seraphim themselves, beings of fire so intense they must cover their own forms. They are not singing a hymn. They are declaring a perimeter, a warning, this far and no further. The living creatures in Ezekiel each have 4 faces: man to the front, lion to the right, ox to the left, eagle to the rear. They do not turn when they move. They go in any direction without rotating their bodies. This is not symbolic. It is observational, a spherical field of vision, omnidirectional awareness. The face of a man represents intelligence, the lion, predatory authority, the ox, strength and service, the eagle, transcendence and speed. These are not decorative features, they are functional attributes. These beings are built for surveillance, for judgment, for enforcement. They see in all directions at once, and they never look away. The most disturbing detail is repeated again and again: eyes. The Ophanim are full of eyes all around their rims. The living creatures are covered in eyes. Even their wheels have eyes. In Revelation, the 4 living creatures are full of eyes in front and behind. The elders and the beasts around the throne are described with eyes covering every surface. This is not ornamentation. Eyes are sensors, instruments of perception. These beings do not blink. They do not sleep. They are surveillance apparatus on a cosmic scale, watching everything, recording everything, judging everything. And they have been watching since the beginning. When the living creatures move, their wings make a sound. Ezekiel compares it to the sound of many waters, to the voice of the Almighty, to the tumult of an army. This is not a gentle rustling. It is overwhelming. The beating of wings so powerful, it sounds like a cataract, like thunder, like war. When they stop, they lower their wings, and there is silence. Silence so absolute, it is mentioned specifically. The transition from deafening roar to total stillness is itself a message. These beings operate at a scale and intensity that dwarfs human comprehension. Their movement alone is an event. Above the heads of the living creatures is a firmament. It sparkles like crystal, awesome and terrible. Above the firmament is a throne, the appearance of a sapphire stone. And seated on the throne is a figure with the appearance of a man, surrounded by fire, by radiance, by the appearance of a rainbow. Ezekiel says this is the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord, not the Lord himself, not even his glory, the appearance of the likeness of his glory. 4 layers of indirection between the witness and the reality, because the reality cannot be directly perceived. The throne room is a buffer zone. The angels are the interface, the machinery of heaven between God and man. The word angel comes from the Greek angelos, messenger. But the beings Ezekiel describes are not delivering letters. They are operating a cosmic apparatus. The Ophanim move with the cherubim because the spirit of the creatures is in the wheels. This is not poetry. This is engineering. A mechanical unity of purpose. The wheels do not move independently. They are part of a system. The living creatures are not freelance emissaries. They are components, synchronized, obedient, executing a function. The function is not comfort. It is enforcement, maintenance, containment. Heaven, in the oldest texts, is not a garden. It is a fortress, and these are its defenses. Every angelic encounter begins with the same command: do not be afraid. Because the default human reaction to these beings is mortal terror. They are not comforting. They are not safe. Gabriel appears to Mary, and she is deeply troubled. The shepherds are terrified. The women at the tomb flee in fear. Even when the message is good news, the messenger is overwhelming. These beings exist on a frequency that human perception cannot tolerate. They have to announce themselves as non-threatening because everything about their presence signals threat. Do not be afraid is not reassurance. It is an override command, a cognitive safety protocol. Without it, the witness would not survive the encounter. The Book of Enoch was removed from most biblical canons, but it preserves older descriptions. Enoch is taken into heaven and shown the watchers, angels assigned to observe the earth. Some of them descend. They take human wives. They teach forbidden knowledge, metallurgy, astrology, weaponry, cosmetics, the mixing of species. Their offspring are the Nephilim, giants, hybrid beings. Heaven sends the archangels to clean up the contamination, to bind the watchers, to eliminate their children, to flood the earth and start over. This is not a story about grace. It is a story about quarantine, about contamination protocols, about the enforcement of cosmic boundaries by beings with no concept of mercy. Ezekiel saw something by the river, something that moved without turning, that had eyes everywhere, that sounded like a waterfall when it moved, that emitted fire and lightning, that operated in perfect synchronization. He described it as best he could. Wheels within wheels, creatures with 4 faces, wings that covered and wings that moved, a throne above it all. He was trying to describe a mechanism, an intelligence that operated on principles he did not understand. His language is the language of a Bronze Age priest encountering something post-biological. He called them angels because that was the only word he had. But what he saw was not a messenger. It was the machinery of heaven itself. And it is still watching. If these are the angels, if this is what heaven deploys, then what are they protecting us from? What is on the other side of the flaming sword? What lies beyond the firmament that requires wheels full of eyes to guard it? Why would beings of fire need to cover themselves? What do the seraphim see that we cannot? Every prophet who saw them fell. Every witness begged not to see again. The angels say, "Do not be afraid," but they never say why. And the oldest texts never tell us what happens when the wheels start turning, or what they were built to keep out, or in.